The time machine fractures again. You stumble through the rupture and land not in the age of titans, but in their absence. The great reptiles are gone. The Paleogene begins. You hit the ground hard, your visor clattering against damp soil. The suit saves you from the impact, but not from the silence that follows. The silence is worse. It isn't the hush of safety, it's the kind of silence that listens back. You drag yourself upright. A forest stretches above you like a cathedral rebuilt from ash. The trunks are young, straight, crowded close together, still claiming the vacancy left by the fallen lords of the world. But it isn't the trunks that hold your attention. It's the crowns. The canopy is alive, trembling, whispering, a restless ocean of green you can't quite decipher. The ground feels steady beneath your boots, but the steadiness is false. You know it without knowing how. The earth masks too much. What presses into the soil could be harmless. A tapir-like beast, trudging heavy and slow, or it could be nothing at all, only the echo of your own steps returned to you. The danger doesn't speak through the earth anymore. The danger comes from above. A shudder runs through the trees. Leaves flutter, though there is no wind. High up, something massive shifts. You hear it before you see it. The scrape of bark, the dull thunk of weight pressing down on wood. Your helmet amplifies the sound. For a second, you think you're listening to your own pulse. Then you realize it's not you. A shape breaks free between branches. For an instant, you think a tree has fallen. A trunk snapping downward in slow collapse. But it moves too cleanly. Wings. They beat once, twice, powerful enough to send a tremor down the air. The bird, if bird is a word large enough for it, rises into full view. Its head alone is taller than your torso. Its beak, pale and serrated at the edges, gleams in a shaft of light. You recognize it from half-remembered diagrams in survival databases. Gastornis, a hunter, a ruler of this interlude before true mammals take the throne. It doesn't see you. Not yet. It lands on a neighboring tree, the wood groaning under its mass. The forest reacts before you do. Cicadas break into frantic chorus. Smaller creatures burst from the canopy. Gliding mammals, flapping in nervous spirals. Their alarm is chaotic, but not meaningless. It is the canopy itself sending a message. The warning you nearly missed. You stand frozen, realizing the truth of this place. The earth offers only delay. By the time vibrations reach you, the predator is already near. The canopy speaks in advance if you know how to listen. Your breath fogs the visor. You wipe at it instinctively, though the smear remains on the inside. You want to move, but the forest tells you to wait. Leaves shiver above. The bird's call breaks like a hammer across stone. Short, final, not a cry but a claim. And then quiet again. Your legs twitch. The instinct is to run. But the ground below your boots is a liar, a conspirator. It won't tell you what's coming. Only the crowns will. The lesson settles cold into you. To survive here, you must listen upward, not downward. The forest ceiling is the only truth. The canopy rustles once more, the signal sharp, urgent. Something larger than you dares to move. And you finally understand the silence wasn't listening back. It was waiting. The canopy never rests. Even when your visor fog clears, even when your breathing steadies, the crowns above you whisper and argue in voices you can't quite follow. Leaves rasp against each other in waves, like the shuffle of cards no hand controls. Every sound carries weight. Every sound is a verdict. You begin walking not because it feels safe, but because standing still feels worse. The ground swallows your steps, soft and spongy with layers of rot. It's thick with the memory of the giants that fell before this age, charred branches, blackened soil, the ash still lingering in seams beneath the fresh green. Every stride sinks a little, and the earth exhales dampness through the seams of your boots. The forest is young, but not empty. You see signs everywhere. Gnawed bark, stripped shoots, nests woven from leaves and mud. A scurry of movement at the edge of your vision reveals something small, long-bodied, furred. It clambers up a trunk with clumsy agility, one of the early tree dwellers, more rodent than primate. It pauses, eyes flashing wide, and vanishes into the crown without a sound. It isn't the only watcher. Shadows flit above you, wings stretch taut between digits. They aren't bats, not yet, but they claim the night sky before it's born. They cling upside down, their tiny shapes trembling as you pass. You realize they aren't trembling because of you. They're trembling because of something else. The air thickens, the canopy stills. Even the cicadas choke their voices back. The silence is absolute, unnatural, and in that pause you understand the rule again. The forest speaks, and its pauses are as loud as its warnings. A heavy footfall crushes brush in the distance. Then another, too slow, too ponderous to belong to the winged giant you saw before. You freeze, listening. The vibrations hum faintly through your boots, and for a dangerous moment you are tempted to believe them. The sound feels close, urgent, pulling your attention downward. Then the crowns betray the truth. High above, the trees tremble in sync, a ripple spreading through the canopy as if an invisible wave has passed. Birds, smaller ones this time, crow-sized, streaking with primitive colors, burst outward in frantic arcs. Their flight is jagged, directionless. You don't see what spooked them, only the emptiness they leave behind. Your visor registers temperature changes. The air grows warmer, thicker, humid with the exhale of something massive moving unseen. You tilt your head up. Branches bow under invisible weight. Bark peels and falls like shed skin. Whatever stalks there blends too well with shadow, its shape swallowed by foliage. Only the crown reveals its path, each shuddering leaf a warning flare. You clutch at the straps of your suit. The machine on your back hums faintly, a failing echo of technology in a world that has no use for it. Out here, the canopy is your only interface. The ground offers nothing. Worse than nothing, it deceives. You realize the heavy steps you felt below were a taper-shaped grazer, harmless, already vanished. The true predator was above all along, watching. You shiver despite the insulation of your suit. The forest presses closer, the light shrinking to narrow shafts. Each one feels like a spotlight, a revelation waiting to expose you. You are alone in a world that does not care for ground-born senses. Only the crowns speak, and you are still too slow to learn their language. The canopy is your scripture. You know this now, but knowledge isn't enough. You need rules, a protocol to hold yourself against the pressure of instinct. Survival here is not about courage. It's about obedience. You start assembling the laws in your head, each one sharper than breath. Rule 1. Never trust the ground. The soil beneath you is a deceiver. Heavy steps rumble through it, but they arrive late, already blurred. By the time you hear danger through your boots, it's too close to react. Worse still, harmless grazers mimic the tread of hunters. You've already been fooled once. If you forget this rule, you'll pause when you should run, or run when you should hide. The ground will hand you to death, smiling with its false reports. Rule 2. Read the crowns. Every tremor, every ripple in the canopy carries meaning. A flock scattering to the east is not chaos, it is a map. When leaves shudder without wind, when branches bow under unseen weight, you must translate those signs faster than thought. Ignore them, and you'll believe yourself safe while a hunter balances silently above you, patient as stone. The crowns always know first. Always. Rule 3. Measure silence. Noise is information, but so is its absence. The cicadas that chorus without pause fall into sudden hush when predators stir. The gliders clutch tighter to their perches. The forest withdraws its voice, and in that suffocating quiet, you must act. If you hesitate, you'll miss the only warning you'll ever receive. Silence here is a blade. It cuts seconds off your life. Rule 4. Do not echo yourself. The canopy listens as much as it speaks. Every misplaced step, every scrape of soot against bark, multiplies upward. The wrong sound draws eyes you cannot afford. Even harmless creatures amplify your presence. A startled rodent squeal could alert the crowns above. If you ignore this, you become your own signal, your own betrayal. Rule 5. Keep your eyes upward, but your body still. The instinct is to run, to watch your feet, to seek clear ground. but movement below catches attention above. A still form blends with shadow, a moving one breaks it. If your gaze falls too long to the soil, you miss the flicker of wings, the drop of feathers, the faint bend of branches. Your sight must belong to the crowns, or you will die staring at roots that never meant you harm. The rules repeat inside your head like a mantra. They aren't wisdom, they're the thin seam of survival. You test them with each breath. The ground beneath you feels a pulse, false. The crowns twitch, real. You hold still. Something shifts above. A ripple runs across the canopy like a wound reopening. You freeze, pressing your back to a trunk. Silence floods in, crushing. Then a shriek. Not near, but close enough to remind you how small you are. Your rules are working, for now, but the forest is patient, and patience is its sharpest predator. The rules hold you together like seams in thin fabric, but fabric tears. You wait too long at the base of a tree, still as bark, visor tilted upward. The canopy sways gently, unsettled but not in panic. Cicadas hum again, their chorus returning in waves. For a heartbeat, you believe you've earned a reprieve. Your legs burn from holding still. Muscles cramp inside the suit, joints stiffen, and your lungs rasp against the recycled air. You want to move just a little, a step, a shift. The urge grows louder than the forest. You break Rule 4. The scrape of your boot against bark echoes upward like struck metal. Feels enormous, absurdly amplified. You flinch and look down at your feet. You break Rule 5. The soil is dark, damp, streaked with roots. Harmless, too harmless. The false reassurance lulls you until you feel it. A tremor under your soles, rhythmic, ponderous. Heavy steps. The instinct to flee spikes hard. You remember Rule 1, but too late. You believe the ground. You move. The undergrowth lashes at you as you run, branches clawing at your visor, thorns grinding against your suit. Each stride is louder than the last. The canopy explodes into motion overhead. Wings batter leaves into storms. Small gliders scatter in erratic spirals. Something colossal shifts, following your trail from above. The crowns scream the truth, but you can't translate them anymore. Panic has broken the language. Every rustle is threat, every shadow a descending strike. You stumble, branches whipping across your helmet. Then silence. The canopy closes its mouth. Cicadas cut off mid-note. Leaves freeze in place, as though the whole forest is holding its breath. You stop too, chest heaving, visor fogged to blindness. In that pause, something moves above. The weight bends branches until they groan. Bark rains down around you, flecks striking your helmet like shrapnel. A shadow lengthens, folding into your own. You look up. The Gastornis is there, perched higher, its eyes black pits, its beak catching stray glimmers of light. It is patient, perfect, carved from hunger. It was never the ground you should have feared. The false tremors below were the last trick the forest played to pull your gaze downward. You try to freeze again, to rebuild stillness, but your breathing betrays you. Fog blooms inside the visor, your chest rising and falling like a beacon. The bird tilts its head, studying. You whisper the rules inside your helmet, desperate. Don't trust the ground. Read the crowns. Measure silence. Don't echo yourself. Keep eyes upward. You repeat them like prayer, but prayers don't stop predators. Branches split under sudden force. The bird drops lower, wings battering the air. Leaves swirl like ash in its wake. The canopy roars with alarm, but the warning arrives for you alone. Too late. Your rules fracture, scattered by instinct. And instinct is the last language of prey. You run again, though you know it's pointless. The canopy convulses above, leaves spinning down in spirals. Every sound you make returns to you, multiplied, a bright signal against the forest's indifference. The ground grabs at your boots. Roots, mud, decay. Each step a drag. You want to trust it, to believe the vibrations will warn you, but the rhythm beneath your soles only tells you of your own panic. The crowns are louder. Branches thrash. Wings slice the air. Smaller creatures scatter in chaotic bursts. The canopy is screaming, but the scream is not protection. It is obituary. The Gastornis follows without hurry. It doesn't need to. Every motion of the crowns marks your path for it. You crash through undergrowth. The forest announces you. You slow, realizing speed only betrays you faster. You try to be still. Silence. It descends like pressure, flattening the world. Cicadas vanish mid-song. The gliders vanish into hollows. Even the leaves seem to hold still, trembling just enough to betray tension. The forest does not breathe. You barely do. And then impact. Branches explode downward. The bird drops like a stone, its wings a wall of air. It doesn't strike yet. It doesn't need to. It lands close, the ground trembling under its mass. Its beak is pale as bone, sharp as inevitability. You collapse backward, suit scraping against a trunk. You try to obey the rules one last time. Eyes upward, body still, silence measured. Your lungs rebel. Your chest heaves, visor fogging, each breath a white flag. The crowns betray you one final time. A ripple courses above, creatures scattering as if the forest itself recoils from what's about to happen. They warn you faithfully, but the warning is cruel. You can't act. The Gastornis steps closer, talons crushing damp soil. His head tilts, studying, as if weighing whether you are prey or simply debris. The canopy holds its breath, waiting for the verdict. You whisper the rules inside the helmet, words blurring with condensation. Don't trust the ground. Read the crowns. Measure silence. Don't echo yourself. Keep eyes upward. They unravel as you speak them. They don't save you. They only mark the path you took to failure. The bird lunges. The shadow consumes your own. Time fractures into sensations. The rush of displaced air, the sharp drum of its step, the shudder that races up the trunk behind you. You don't feel pain, only the collapse of distance, the closing of space. Above, the canopy erupts in flight. Birds scatter. Mammals leap. Leaves fall in a storm of green and shadow. The crowns scream as though they mourn, but they mourn nothing. They announce. They always announce. You understand, in the last flicker of clarity, the forest was never for you. Its rules were never yours to master. You only borrowed them too late, too clumsily. Your visor fogs fully. The last thing you see is the canopy shifting, endlessly alive, endlessly speaking, long after you've fallen silent. The crowns warned you. You did not listen well enough, and the Paleogene swallows you without pause.